Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Wednesday, November 10th. We have all you need to know about a recent police encounter following a rape accusation, along with more on programs born out of the Sandusky scandal and where they stand 10 years later.
We also have details on the lawsuits following Travis Scott's Astroworld tragedy, along with your weekly COVID-19 update.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Zach Ershman.
And I'm Caroline Diaz.
10 years ago, all eyes were locked in on State College after news broke regarding the inappropriate actions of defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky. While the communities had a decade to reflect on the scandal, a Centre County organization was launched to make sure nothing like this happened again in Centre County or across the world. Stewards of Children and the Children's Advocacy Center of Centre County have been working to train and teach adults how to prevent, recognize, and properly handle instances related to childhood sex abuse. Since it was launched, Stewards of Children have trained over 2 million individuals in over 70 countries. While the Jerry Sandusky scandal happened in 2011, programs like Stewards of Children and the Children's Advocacy Center of Centre County will continue to teach and work to educate adults.
A 31-year-old man identified as Trevor Snowberger has shot himself in Centre County this past Sunday. Officers were dispatched at 1:20 a.m. after receiving a call from a woman who claimed Snowberger had raped her. 10 minutes later, officers found him sitting on top of his parked car, waving around a handgun and ignoring police orders to drop his weapon. Following their arrival, police say that Snowberger shot himself in the face and was shortly taken by helicopter to multiple hospitals for serious injuries. Snowberger now faces multiple felony charges, including rape by forcible compulsion and misdemeanor accounts of terroristic threats, to name a few.
The nation has been dealing with a public health crisis for the past 2 years. COVID-19 still playing a major part in day-to-day life with vaccinations, positive cases, and possible exposures impacting events around the country.
PSN News brings you the latest COVID-19 stats from both Centre County and the nation. Here is your weekly update. COVID cases are still fluctuating in Centre County. As of Monday, November 8th, 24 new cases were reported, following a 7-day average of 39 cases. This brings the county total to 20,968 and the state total to 1,597,065. Over the past 2 weeks, hospitalizations went down 11%. Out of the 33 patients hospitalized, 10 are fully vaccinated, while 23 are not. On the CDC's community transmission scale, Centre County remains at the highest level. Among adult residents of Centre County, 61.6% are fully vaccinated. The county's death toll remains at 246.
Now let's take a quick look at the COVID numbers across the nation from Tuesday, November 9th. There were 83,000 new cases of COVID-19, along with a little over 1,500 deaths. The Golden State of California leads the country with nearly 5 million cases, adding over 4,000 new cases yesterday. Texas sits right behind California with the second most amount of confirmed cases. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has the 7th most confirmed cases in the United States. Coming up next, Brendan Conroy has the latest stories on Penn State sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Brendan Conroy with your sports update. The Penn State women's soccer team wrapped up regular season play and secured themselves a spot in the NCAA tournament for the 27th year in a row. After a decent season ending with a record just above 600, the Nittany Lions are eager to make something happen. Home field advantage was a big factor in Penn State's success as they finished the season 6-2 at home compared to their 4-5 score on the road. Defense will be a key aspect for Penn State heading into the tournament, as most losses were decided by only a goal or two. With a strong offensive structure, a solid defensive strategy will help push the Nittany Lions throughout tournament play. Head coach Erica Dambach expressed her excitement to host the first round of these playoffs, along with the players' eagerness to get back on the field for postseason play. A trip to Santa Clara is in store for the future should Penn State advance that deep into the postseason. The Nittany Lions will kick off the first round of this year's tournament at 6 p.m. this Friday, where they will take on the Monmouth Hawks in University Park. The Penn State women's basketball season is underway, and the Lady Lions are back and ready to make a statement. After a very valuable pickup in the transfer portal of Allie Brigham and key veteran players like Kelly Jaycott returning for another season, head coach Caroline Keeger is anxious to get her girls back on the court. Janasia Cash played a huge role in rebounds and defense last season, so big shoes will need to be filled to protect the ball on all ends of the floor. Emotions will be running high all season as the fake fan noise you once heard on TV becomes a thing of the past. Fans will once again be allowed to cheer on their teams and show their school some love. The return of fans will allow for more excitement surrounding the games taking place in the Bryce Jordan Center. The Lady Lions started their season off with a win as they defeated the Long Island University Sharks 85-66 last night in the Bryce Jordan Center. Penn State will play at home for their next 2 games before hitting the road and heading to Clemson later this November. The wait is finally over as the 2021-2022 men's college basketball season has finally tipped off. For the first time in nearly 2 years, fans are allowed back in the arenas to watch their home schools play. Seats will be filled and gates will be opening up this week as we enter one of the best times of the year for college sports fans. Following a shortened 2020 season due to the outbreak of COVID-19 and last year's season being limited to spectators, this year will be even more exciting for both players and students watching. The fun started just yesterday as big-name teams like the Villanova Wildcats and the Gonzaga Bulldogs both kicked off their seasons with a win. With these big-name teams come some big-name players as well. After last year's inflictions with COVID preventing players from competing and even some games from taking place, this year will look a little bit different. This season gives lots of teams the opportunity for success as seniors are eligible to return for another season. Will returning players like Colin Gillespie, Drew Timme, and Johnny Juzang live up to their potentials this season? We will have to wait and find out. With a likely chance of full capacity throughout this season's tournament, teams will be hungrier than ever to punch their ticket to the big dance in March. That's all we have for sports. After the break, Gabrielle Tyner will bring you the latest in the world of entertainment.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Gabrielle Tyner with your entertainment update. Penn State will be hosting the Swipe Out Hunger Drive from November 13th to the 21st to help fight student hunger. The donations collected go directly into the Student Emergency Fund, which helps support students facing food insecurity, homelessness, and housing insecurities. Students at every Penn State campus will be able to donate when they pay for meals at residential dining halls. Donations will also be accepted through mobile ordering. The drive is a collaboration with the national organization Swipe Out Hunger and will occur during the National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. Penn State collaborated with the organization in the spring of 2020 and was able to raise over $29,000. In other local events, the Gender Equity Center held a Love is Louder event last week in protest of political commentator Milo Yiannopoulos' Pray the Gay Away speech. Field reporter Emma Aiken has the story.
The Center for Gender and Sexual Diversity hosted a Love is Louder event in the Hub on Wednesday, November 3rd from 6 to 10.
The Love is Louder event was created in response to the student group Uncensored America hosting Milo Yiannopoulos to give a speech at Penn State titled Pray the Gay Away. A petition to cancel the speech from the controversial alt-right speaker received over 12,000 signatures, but the university said they could not cancel the event due to free speech and because they have never controlled what speakers groups have brought in the past.
Well, unfortunately, Milo is a reactionary, and I'm sure a big protest is probably what he wanted, and the best and safest possible thing we could have done is host a counter event that is bigger and better than his, and I think that's exactly what we did, and this was a better way to get our message out.
Lines were so long to get into the Love is Louder event that they stretched across the hub twice. Many speakers of the LGBTQ+ community shared their stories, while stations gave out wristbands, stickers, pins, pizza, and drinks to students who attended.
Well, this event has just been one big show of solidarity, and it's just been absolutely beautiful to see all the different kinds of people who've shown up to show their support. I feel like it's just been so heartwarming to see the amount of people that are coming.
For Penn State Network News, I'm Emma Aiken.
Penn State will be hosting its annual Veterans Day ceremony on November 11th during the 10th annual Military Appreciation Week. The event will honor the service and sacrifices of the veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces. The event will feature the ROTC Color Guard and include guest speakers like Captain George Oliver, Dexter Mills, and Kyle Larson. The ceremony was organized by the Penn State Student Veteran Organization and is free and open to the public. The ceremony will take place on Old Main Lawn at 11 a.m. If you are unable to attend the event, the ceremony will be live streamed at watch.psu.edu/MAW. Fans of the popular Netflix series Squid Games are happy to hear that Season 2 is in the works. The South Korean survival drama has gained a huge fan base and has ranked and remained #1 in 94 countries, including the United States, in less than 2 months. The creator of the show, Hung Dun-ya, explained that due to the popularity of the show, he is left with no choice but to create a second season. He is currently in the planning process of the season and that it is too early to say when his vision will become a reality. That's all for your entertainment update. After the break, interview anchor Riley Curry will be speaking with DeAndre Malcolm and Jalen Carr, the recipients of the 2021 Guide State Forward Award. Stay tuned.
So I can get started. My name is DeAndre Malcolm. I'm a senior studying public relations with a minor in Spanish. I'm from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Not too many people know where that is, so I don't know if that's important information, but just want to throw that in there. And yeah.
I'm Jalen Carr, I'm a fourth-year senior, majoring in civil engineering with a minor in engineering leadership and development. I hail from Baltimore, Maryland, and yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Perfect. So you guys were both the winners of the Guide State Forward Award this year. Congratulations again. So could you please just describe that day at the homecoming game and what it felt like to win that award?
So that day was a little bit hectic for myself specifically, because we had to go to the game. Game started at 12. I didn't get there till like 1 because they told us we just had to be there for halftime. So we get there and we're getting ready, to like go out on the field and like have them introduce us and then of course announce the winners. So when they did announce the winners, I was really like taken aback, especially because me and Jalen were the only 2 men on the entire court. So that kind of like surprised me at the fact that we were both the winners. But when they announced his name, I was like, oh, okay. So like they got their male figure and I assumed that it was going to be a female figure as well. But then they said DeAndre. So I was like, that's my name. So it was just like really crazy. And then like everyone's super excited about like having 2 Black men be the winners this year. So I feel like we were really doing a lot for the community just by like being in this position and being in this space.
I know that you guys are both seniors here at Penn State. How is this award kind of part of your legacy, and how will you, continue to make your mark on Penn State's campus?
It's like really big for me personally, because I feel it's just like, beyond a diploma, it's something that's gonna be cemented in history. Guide State Forward is gonna continue on for who knows how long. Being the winners of the 4th, I guess, rendition of it, so to speak, that's something that's gonna, just remain in history. So certainly that part of my legacy, and then personally for me, just within my fraternity, a profile of mine won in 2015. So just like for a fraternity aspect as well, just having another member, let alone another person of color, win this award means a lot. And I think, having this as a piece of history can, go forward to just, again, continue to show that example that, people of color can and are more than capable of, winning this award.
So as far as like legacy is concerned, I'm only the 2nd openly gay Black man to win this award. So I've been able to, really just revel in that feeling of being able to add to the legacy and continue that legacy that was created before me. And then also, I think it's interesting because I'm equally the 2nd openly gay Black Caucus president. So it's just like having those different accolades coming to life and being able to really just showcase how people of color as well as queer people of color, and like that intersectionality that we don't really talk about that much, is something that should be talked about, and is something that isn't necessarily, what's the word, taboo, I guess you could say. So just being able to really showcase how I'm able to come into my personhood really sets the tone for other students after me.
Such great answers coming from you guys. You guys are such great role models and leaders that I know so many people look up to within the PLC community and in general in the Penn State community. So congratulations once again. I know that you guys will continue to do great things throughout your time here at Penn State and in the future. Is there anything else you want to add to the, give the audience, if anything, don't feel any pressure, before we conclude this interview?
Me personally, just if there are individuals watching this that are hesitant to do it, one thing I wanted to say is just don't hesitate. I did have a lot of involvement the last couple of years, but I did wish I got involved earlier. So basically just don't hesitate to have impact on your community. And that doesn't have to be in the e-board all the time. It can be showing up to events, showing support, but just don't hesitate.
For me, I would say, because a lot of people talk about how like Jalen and I are leaders. And I would say that we're leaders, not because of our positions, but because of our desk position. And I really think that our desire to, serve the community in any way that we can is what really makes us a leader.
Lawsuits are being filed against rapper Travis Scott after a fatal mosh pit ravaged his Astroworld Festival in Houston, Texas. 8 people died at the festival while over 300 were injured. Attorneys from a Houston personal injury firm say that Scott has created dangerous concert environments in the past, encouraging fans to climb over barricades and rush the stage. Concert goers felt security personnel were unsuccessful, and medical staff found that an officer had been injected with the drug Narcan. Following the event, the Houston rapper tweeted that he will cooperate with the Houston Police Department and work together with the community to support families who have been rocked with tragedy. Scott promises that he will cover funeral expenses, refund the festival's audience members, and pay for their therapy. The youngest victim of the crowd surge was 10 years old.
A TikTok trend helped save a 16-year-old girl from danger, leading to an arrest of a man in Kentucky. The trend was started by the Canadian Women's Foundation and is a hand gesture that symbolizes abuse at home. The gesture includes facing your palm outward, tucking in your thumb, and closing your fingers. This missing teen was taken from North Carolina and performed the hand gesture to drivers passing by. One motorist noticed the girl in distress doing the signal and called the police. The car was pulled over and the man was arrested for unlawful imprisonment and possession of a matter of sex performance by a minor.
And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.